Hi guys, I hope you're good. Let us quickly have a look at the US30 index. So, as you guys can see, I have the monthly chart open, and by now, a lot of you know that I usually start off my analysis from the monthly chart and work my way down to the H4 chart and sometimes the H1 chart, depending on what it is that's actually going on the H4 chart. Anyway, without wasting any further time, let us get straight into the analysis. So as I said, guys, I have the monthly chart open, and in my previous video I actually spoke about this candlestick over here. It is a very strong bearish candlestick, and I mentioned that the reason why we had this move is because we actually had this candlestick over here. Just bear with me. We had this candlestick over here. Let me actually do this. We had this candlestick over here. This one over here. It was a liquidity candlestick, and that's why we saw this candlestick coming down to that level. It just came down to grab some liquidity, as well as to test this support line, because we had a touch here, we had a touch there, then support broke here, it became resistance, so price came down again to retest this area. That's all excuse me, that's all in my previous video. Anyway, so from here, what I'm gonna do, seeing that there's really not much of interest here, I'm going to head down to the weekly chart. So here we are on the weekly chart. So what do we see on this chart? So we can see that Friday's candle was a very strong bullish candle, and it actually closed as a pen bar. So this is an indication that we may be getting ready to see price actually push further up. Nonetheless, we still need to look for further confirmation on the lower time frames. So another thing that I spoke about in my previous video is the fact that we have in this region an M formation, and we saw price closing below the neckline of that M structure and then going back up again to actually retest that neckline. Because as I usually say, guys, that when it comes to M formations, ideally we would love to see price break the neckline, go back to it to retest it, and then push further down, in which case we would look for selling opportunities at this stage. So that is what happened actually here, where we had this information with a neckline there. Price broke below the neckline, then went up again to actually retest it. And actually, if you look at my chart at the moment, you can see that I have some trades running, and I actually sold based on what I've just said right now, in addition to other confirmations that appeared on the lower time frames, right? Anyway, let us proceed. So before you proceed, I'm just gonna add a neckline to that M structure. It's still very much important, and I just want you to be able to see exactly what it is that I'm referring to as I work my way down to the smaller time frames. So that's my neckline for that structure. So what I'm going to do now is head down to the daily chart, because I don't see anything interesting at this point. However, before I do so, let me just point out that the reason why this current or the last weekly candle came down to that level is because we had this candlestick over here. It was carrying a whole lot of liquidity at that level. So the market had to come down to grab that liquidity, and it looks like it is getting ready to actually start pushing up, right? But as I said, we need more confirmation. We need further confirmation. At this stage, we can't really say the market is moving up for sure. Anyway, from here, what I'm going to do is head down to the daily chart. Let's see. So here we are on the daily chart. The first thing that I'm going to do on the daily chart is actually add my channel. Just bear with me. Here we go. There goes my daily channel. Let's see. There we go. there goes our channel, right? So what else do we see on this chart that is interesting? So yeah, so in my last video I also spoke about how we have liquidity here because of that candlestick. We have liquidity here because of that candlestick, and recently we have liquidity here because of that candlestick. So on the weekly chart I spoke about how price maybe, or rather the market may be getting ready to actually start moving up. As much as that's the case, because of these candlesticks over here, there's actually scope for price to move further down, because all of these candlesticks um, have money trapped just beneath them. So there's scope actually for price to move further down before actually moving up. And if that happens, should price actually from where it is move down to here, and then move up, in this manner, it would be creating a W structure. It would be creating a very nice W structure, right? Anyway, let's proceed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to mark all of these candlesticks, all of these liquidity candlesticks, because as I said, guys, price needs to come down actually before pushing further up. So just bear with me as I add those lines just to mark those very important candlesticks. Just bear with me. In fact, I'm just going to make it a blue. Let me just delete this. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Okay, there goes the first one. Vignette candle filling at that level. And then we have the second one at this point over here. There we go. And the third one right at the bottom over here, right? So price needs to grab the liquidity that's sitting down at all these levels over here, right? Anyway, let's proceed. Over and above these liquidity candlesticks, what else do we see on the chart that is very interesting? Remember, we are on the daily chart, and if we actually look at Friday's candle, which is this one, um it actually also closed as a liquidity candlestick. um and I can tell you now that we have a whole lot of liquidity that's sitting up here. And as much as I've sold, what may happen on Monday or Tuesday is that the market may push further up to around this level to grab some liquidity. And then maybe after that liquidity has been grabbed, the market may possibly push further down once that has happened, right? So as much as I have these cells and um, my trades are in profit, it may happen that I may need to close or actually put my stop loss at break even, right? So anyway, guys, I'm just gonna mark this level as well, because as I said, it's a very important level, and price needs to get to that level to grab some liquidity. And it may happen, as I said, that price may come to that level to grab liquidity, and then from there push further down. So just bear with me, guys. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna use this line. There we go. Then I'm gonna make it yellow. There we go. I hope you guys can see that. Anyway, is there anything else that we should be paying attention to on this particular daily chart of US30? So also, as much as I said that what may happen is price may actually give us, oh, sorry, let me see. I said that price may actually give us the structure here where it gives us this W formation, right? As much as there is the anticipation, another thing that's actually happening right now is that we have what seems to be an M formation forming with this being the first leg of the M structure and possibly this being the second leg. However, it is still early and the second leg hasn't really formed because we don't really have a close of a bearish candle at this point, right? And as I said, that the market may still need to go up a bit just to grab all of that liquidity that's sitting at that level, and then maybe from there it may push further down to complete that M structure. The neckline would be somewhere around here. Anyway, let's proceed, guys. I don't really see anything else that is particularly very interesting at this point. Nonetheless, let me just also point out that at this level here, we have liquidity there that needs to be grabbed by the market in the future, and that is because of that candlestick um, with a small body and a long upper wick. So there's a lot of money sitting at that point. Anyway, I'm not gonna mark it because it is still very much far. So what I'm gonna do from here is actually move down to the H4 chart. So yeah, just bear with me. So here we are on the H4 chart. I'm just gonna fix my channel. Just bear with me. Okay, there we go. So let's see. So what else do we see here on this actual chart, which is the H4 chart that we should be paying attention to? So on the daily chart, I spoke about how we could possibly be having an M formation at this point, with this being the first leg and this being the second leg. We also have in this region a W structure, right? And the neckline is in this region, and we can see that price closed just above the neckline, and that tells me that we have a whole lot of stop orders or rather stop losses that are in this region. Why do I say so? That is because when it comes to W formations, what normally happens is a lot of traders and investors buy on the second leg of the W, and then again on the break of the neckline, right? Putting their stop losses just below that W structure. So I can tell you now that we have a whole lot of stop losses that are sitting at this level over here. And what may happen is that the market from where it is may push further down to not only grab the liquidity that is marked by these blue lines, but also to grab the stop losses that are sitting down here, and also to complete that potential M structure that I was speaking about earlier, right? So these are all possibilities, and we need to keep them all in the back of our minds, just to make sure that we have a 360-degree view of the market. Anyway, let's proceed. Let's see. So we're on the H4 chart. So what I'm going to do now is actually add my H4 channel. Let's see. How would I add my H4 channel? Let me see. Let's see. Just bear with me. I would actually add it in this manner. There we go. There goes our H4 channel. So we can see that the market is actually at the moment in an upward trend in as far as the H4 chart is concerned, right? But don't forget that we also have this neckline of that huge M structure that I spoke about on the weekly chart. And I said that price came back here to retest this neckline. Hence, I sold, right? Yeah. So let me just actually go back to the daily chart so that we don't forget exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So just bear with me. Actually, the weekly chart, that's what I mean. So on the weekly chart, I spoke about this M structure here, and I said that the neckline is there, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna go back to the daily chart again, or rather the H4 chart, right? So as much as also on the, I think daily chart, I spoke about this level over here, which is carrying liquidity. Can you guys see that there's also confirmation on the H4 chart in that we have these two candlesticks which have small bodies and long upper wicks. both those candlesticks are carrying a lot of liquidity, and there's actually scope for price early next week to actually go up there to grab that liquidity and then push further down. So if you sold in this region, you just need to be careful because you may have to close or at least um, put your stop loss just at break even. Right. Anyway, let's proceed. So as I said, guys, we have a W structure here, and the neckline has been broken, right? A lot of people, as I said, have bought at this point, and again at that point, putting their stop losses just below here, right? So there's a lot of money trapped in this region, and in my humble opinion, the market should actually push further down. However, we don't know for sure if it'll do so, because for all we know, because we are in an uptrend, right, and we have a W structure here, the market may still push further up, guys. The market may still push further up, right? Um, but as I said, what may happen in the next week, let me actually go down to the H1 chart, is that the market from where it is may push to here to trigger the liquidity that's sitting up there, and then from there push further down, right? So that is my analysis, guys, in as far as US30 is concerned. I hope that makes sense. I know I drew a whole lot of lines, but that was just to make sure that you guys see exactly what it is that I'm referring to and that you don't get lost. Yeah, so that is it, guys. Thank you for watching, and peace out.